Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen, and today we are going to be making some raspberry puree. And you might be wondering, well, why would we be doing that, Zaza? And the answer is very simple. In the world of patisserie, we use fruit puree for absolutely everything. For mousse, for coulis, for glaze, for buttercream, for ganache, for absolutely everything you can think of. And as it turns out, in the cake design world, we don't use it that much, but I do, because I have a background in patisserie and I just know how versatile and amazing it can be. So I'm going to be showing you how to be making raspberry puree, but just so you know, this is the exact same principle if you were making, let's say, peach puree or pear or mango or blueberries or strawberries, etc, etc. So my personal favorite way of using fruit puree in my cakes, in cake design, is by using it as a glaze that I usually pour on top of the cake, a bit like a drip, basically. I also absolutely love using it as the base for ganache, so fully replacing or partially replacing the cream with fruit puree, which is also great for vegan ganache, and also to flavor buttercreams, because instead of using jam, if you wanted to flavor your buttercream with some fruits, if you use fruit puree, you remove all of the sugar from the jam and you just get the pure taste of the actual fruit. So the main difference between a fruit puree and jam is that in fruit puree we use very, very little sugar. We only use, in fact, 10% of sugar to the whole weight of fruit. So in this case we have 300 grams of fruit and we're using only 30 grams of sugar, because the idea is to keep intact the taste of the fruit, all right? And by the way, that's the only two ingredients that you need, your fruits and the sugar, all right? Easy peasy. We are going to start boiling everything together, and as always I use my Kenwood Cooking Chef XL because it has an induction feature, which makes it quite easy because it is going to bring everything to a gentle simmer in like a very controlled way, which I quite like. And by the way, if you are looking for a new kitchen mixer, I can't recommend more. Make sure to check the description because there is a link in there and you get a little freebie as well when you get your kitchen mixer with my code. Look how beautiful it is. It lights up, literally, just lights up. So everything is in there, our fruit and our sugar. And all I'm going to do is set it on 100 because we want it to boil gently. And it's going to, the temperature is going to raise quite gently. And I'm going to put it on medium speed. I have the paddle attachment in there. Obviously, if you don't have the Kenwood Chef XL or you don't have any machine that can boil for you, you can do that in a traditional saucepan with a whisk. That works absolutely fine. And you just stir it once in a while until you get to the right consistency. But obviously, what I love about the Chef XL is that it gives me more control. And so as it does its thing, I'm going to, I don't know, probably tidy up my kitchen a little bit or do something else and just keep an eye on it, and it will let me know when it's hot. I'll see you then. Okay, so our puree is ready. It literally took about 3.5 minutes. It was quite quick. Do not do like me, however, whenever you boil something, if you ever boil something with the Kenwood XL, you need to remember to put back the guard that actually comes with the kitchen mixer, which is not only practical for when you make American buttercream and to avoid icing sugar from flying everywhere, it's also great for when you boil stuff so that it doesn't just like jump everywhere. Hasn't been too much damage, but luckily it was fast. But yeah, just so you know, definitely don't forget to use that. This being said, we are now ready for our next step. If you are making something like pear or peach, like a fleshy fruit that doesn't have any seeds on it, you're basically done at this stage. What you can do is give it a bit of a blitz if you wanted to. It's not mandatory, but you could, just to make it a bit more liquid. However, because we are doing raspberry and we have lots of tiny little pits, we are going to sieve that, and that will be the same process if you are making, let's say, strawberry puree. Okay, so we'll do that now. So we're just putting, didn't make a big quantity, so I can do it all in one go. And now all we have to do is literally help it go through the sieve so that we only have the flesh left in the end, and the pits can probably go in the bin. Sorry. I know that there are some really amazing no waste accounts out there, so if they recommend what to do with these, then do you know what? If you know what to do with these, leave in the comment section below and I'm happy to have a look. So here we have our raspberry puree ready, and there's definitely something to be said about the size of the mesh on your sieve. I have a really fine mesh because I usually use this sieve to sieve ground almonds to make macarons and such, so I have a really thin mesh. If you have, however, a mesh that's slightly wider, it will probably make life easier when making raspberry puree. But this is what we are left with. We're going to set that aside. And voila, we have our lovely raspberry puree. The best way to store this is by using these little silicone molds, because what I tend to do is I will pour the puree into individual domes, and then I will put that in the freezer, and once it's nice and hard, I then put it in airtight containers, so that whenever I need a certain amount of puree, instead of having to cut through a whole block, I'll just get my my little individual fruit puree frozen sections. And this is my tip for you for today. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful, and I really hope that you give it a go. Let me know in the comment if you are going to give it a go or not, and which fruit are you going to be using, because I really want to know. And put this inside the freezer now. Bye!